Hello everyone, and welcome back to my Monster Hunter World Beginner's Guide, Part 3, where we'll be picking up where we left off, where we just failed to capture Zorah Magdaros, but we are going to continue to follow him. And that will take us into the Great Ravine. And in order to begin that, we have to first start the expedition to go there. You should all know how to start expeditions by now, so I'm not going to cover it again. Anyways, once you get into the Great Ravine, you can do two things. You can follow the handler and talk to all the people if you really want to, or you can just run right on past her. Yeah, you don't even have to follow her at all. Which, I mean, they each have something to say about this Great Ravine that Zorah Magdaros made, but you don't have to listen.
We didn't even slow it down. I'm guessing there's something pretty important on the other side.
Once you've made your way through the Great Ravine, you will reach the end, where a cutscene will greet you and show you a little bit of the Coral Highlands, which is a new zone you'll be able to explore in just a few minutes. After the cutscene plays, you will be taken back to, well, it's a new place called the Research Base. Once you have control of your character, you'll be able to depart on an expedition to the Coral Highlands, where you'll be giving two objectives. One is to find a Tsitsi-Ya-Ku. That's how I'm going to pronounce it. Get over it. And the next is to find a campsite. They're both fairly easy to do. The Tsitsi-Ya-Ku is pretty close to where you start. You just gotta jump off and then head to the right, then go up some vines whenever you can. It's pretty easy. And then the campsite, if you take too long during this expedition, the handler will actually tell you where it is. So it's not worth showing. And then once you're done in the Coral Highlands, you've explored, mined, and found some bone piles, done whatever you want, you can do whatever. I can't control whatever you do. You must return to the research base to get your next mission. In order for the Third Fleet Master to help us on our investigation into following Zorah Magdaros' trail, we must repair the airship, and that requires parts from the monster Paolumu. And I really hate this monster. I'm just going to say that. It's weak to fire, so if you have a fire weapon like, I don't know, something from an Anjanath, bring that. You'll do a lot of damage. Anyways, you'll find it here next to these coral trees, which look really, really nice. And you'll be greeted with a cutscene. And after the cutscene, the fight will commence, and yada yada yada. You kill the thing, return to the Third Fleet Master, and you do your next mission, which is to do an expedition into the Rotten Vale. Now, if you want to go back to Astera, upgrade your armor, maybe upgrade your weapons, all that stuff, you can. You'll be greeted with a short cutscene where they will take you down into the Rotten Vale. You'll see a Great Gyros, and then you shoo it away from the camp. Alright, your goal in the Rotten Vale is to, well, investigate and sight a Great Gyros. In order to sight a Great Gyros, you gotta go further down, but we're not gonna do that yet. We're going to investigate first, and that requires hunting a Radoban. Now, you don't have to hunt a Radoban during the expedition. You can go back to base, create a mission, accept a quest to do it, but I did it during the expedition, and I recommend you do it too. Afterwards, in order to sight the Great Gyros, you have to go further down. Much, much further down. If you follow the map, you'll make it there eventually. But honestly, you should definitely be exploring these zones, because you're going to be fighting a lot of monsters in them. So getting familiar where everything likes to be especially monsters, is a pretty good advantage. Next, once you're done in the Rotten Vale, you've done all the bone piles and mining outcrops you can. I think there's only like 1 or 2 in the Rotten Vale that I've found. You'll go back to camp, where you'll be greeted with another cutscene, and then back to the research base.
Now is the time.
You're trying to go deeper into the Vale, but a monster called the Legiana gets in the way. It will keep the airship from going further down into the Vale, somehow. I don't know how. But it just does. Anyways, your next mission they give you is to hunt it, and it's honestly not that hard. Now here, I'm trying to go to the other camp, because I know there's a camp closer to where Legiana likes to be, but this mission's weird where you can only spawn at the first camp first. Anyways, once you spawn at that first camp, you can just fast travel to the next camp by opening up your map and selecting the camp on your map, which you'll see me do here. Anyways, during this mission, definitely take the items out of the item box. There's some flash pods in there, which you're going to need. And whenever Legiana likes to fly a lot, you can just flash her out of the sky. Him, her, I don't care. And you'll get a nice window of opportunity to do some damage. There's some poison knives in there too, which you can use, since Legiana is pretty weak to poison, and extra poison damage is good, so use those pretty quick as well.
Now is the
Once
time.
you've beaten the Legiana, you get to return to the 3rd Fleet Master, where you go deeper into the Vale. After you have accepted the quest and made it into the Vale, you will have to follow the Trail of Zorah Magdaros, which leads to this big smoldering boulder. And then after you get close enough to the boulder, a cutscene happens, which introduces you to Monster Hunter World's goodest boy, the Oda Garen. The Oda Garen is not that hard. I don't know how many people I offended by saying that, but he wasn't that hard for me. As long as you your defense is high enough, you won't get one hit by anything. The attacks you need to watch out for are his tail attack, where he kind of jumps forward and then uses his tail to sweep. You definitely need to watch out for that one. And the bleed he gives, you can eat an Astera Jerky to remove it, so you don't have to crouch to get rid of it, but that's another way too. Once you beat him, you'll be given another cutscene, and you will be returned to Astera, talk to the commander, I think, if I remember correctly, and they will give you your next mission to find the first Ovarian. He's in the ancient forest, all the way at the top of the tree, where the Rathalos nest is. And once you make it there, you'll be given a cutscene where you'll be introduced to the Rathalos, which is a really cool cutscene. The Rathalos and Diablos are, I think, are my 2 favorite. The favorite so far, anyways. Anyways, your mission that the first Ovarian gives you is to hunt a Rathalos and a Diablos. You can choose to hunt Diablos or Rathalos first. It does not matter. I chose to hunt Rathalos, but you can just choose whatever. Anyways, after you've beaten the Rathalos, your next mission is to, obviously, hunt the Diablos. The Diablos is, well, he's where you fought the Baroth the first time you find one. You have to return there to spark the cutscene, which, by the way, is a really cool cutscene. I really like how they handled the Diablos and Rathalos cutscene, if you can't tell. I've only mentioned it a few times. Anyways, Diablos, not that hard. He's pretty straightforward. He likes to charge. He likes to swing with his horn, swing with his tail. Yeah, he does have a shoulder check. I don't know if it's in low rank, though. Probably is. Anyways, once you're done with that, you will get your next mission to talk to the handler and accept the colossal task, where you'll be given a cutscene, and then you'll be flown in on to Zora Magdaros on a winged drake. Your goal on Zora Magdaros is, first, fire an SOS flare. This mission's a pain to do alone, so might as well get more people in it. You're going to destroy magma cores. Destroying these magma cores are, well, it's like the first fight you did. Destroy the magma cores. You should know where they are. Hopefully. Anyways, that's the first one. The second one's up the hill, and then down. The third one is all the way on top of his mountain on his back, inside it. Pretty much like a volcano. After a while, their Gigante will attack Zora Magdaros, and you'll have to fend him off. The fourth one is actually on Zora Magdaros' nose, but it's kind of hard to get to unless you have a full team. Anyways, after that, once Zora Magdaros reaches the barrier, the next phase will happen, and your goal is to do as much damage with cannons to Zora Magdaros as possible. That's really it. You just do as much damage as you can. As soon as Zora Magdaros gets close enough to the barrier, though, you do want to jump down to the ship and use the Dragonator. The Dragonator does a massive chunk of damage, and will definitely shave down a few minutes of loading cannons. I do recommend staying down there and just loading those cannons on the ship, since it is pretty close and you've got 2 NPCs to help you. There's 3 cannons. You can load the middle one, have the NPCs load the 2 on the end. Do a ton of cannon damage. But once that's done, you will be given a cutscene of Zora Magdaros getting kind of attacked by a Dragonator. He did not like it. Anyways. Moving on, that will be kind of your last mission in low rank. So, you're not quite in high rank yet, but you're close. The next mission will be to do an expedition to the Wildspire Waste. But you gotta talk to the handler first, of course. You can spawn at Central Camp and just run the same path I'm running now to find the 2 things. 1, the Pookie that's not supposed to be here, and 2, pink Rathian scales.
Hey, this is a Rathian trail.
See the scales? Clearly Rathian scales, but they're pink. So,
Something's wrong.
yeah, make with that what you will.
Huh?
Anyways, Pookie's nearby. All you gotta do is hunt it now. This is your first high rank monster,
What's going on?
and I'd say they chose a good one, since the Pookie is, well, there's a big difference in low rank Pookie and high rank Pookie. But that will be the end of this guide. I hope I covered a whole lot, and hope you found it helpful. And if you did, it'd be real great if you liked the video. You shared it around. That'd be helpful too. If you didn't watch my other guides, you can watch those. I will try to put them on the screen here. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I will be continuing this guide whenever I get the time, of course. You're not going to get an outro from me today because, well, I really don't know when I'll get the time to make another video. So, I'll catch you all later. Bye for now.